Hello there, Padawan learners, Jedi Masters, and lore legends. Welcome to the Bendu Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars.
Welcome, everyone, to the Bendu Podcast, where we seek balance in the Force. And tonight, it's just us three bros. Of course, Josh was like, I don't want to talk Star Wars. I don't like Star Wars anymore. So he had some concert or something to go to, I think so. So he's like, blame his wife. So we're blaming his wife.
His wife bought tickets for them to go see Maverick for a second time.
So we're blaming Ray's mom for Josh not being here. So it's all her fault. But guys, oh my gosh, I mean, there's literally so much to talk about. But before we do that, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you look at the description down below on this YouTube video here, or if you watch us on Twitch, we do have a Star Wars only Discord now. So if you guys are interested in joining that and just want to talk Star Wars, jump into that. Always down to talk Star Wars in there. And then we have our general gaming, Millhorn Gaming Discord as well in the description. And thanks to Josh, we started a Patreon. So we have a Patreon. We do have some supporters already. So thank you guys for that. We can help with the podcast, maybe do some giveaways in the future, fun stuff like that. Maybe some Star Wars pops or even bigger, like Star Wars helmets. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we got lots to talk about. I mean, we got Star Wars Celebration. We got Kenobi, which there will be spoilers. There's going to be spoilers.
Yeah. Fair warning.
Yes. So if you don't want Kenobi spoilers, if you hadn't seen episode 1 and 2, just keep that in mind. Like, whatever you need to do to remember to come back and listen to the podcast, do it, because you're going to want to listen to this conversation. We have Jedi Survivor. We have Jedi Tales, Visions, Ahsoka, Mandu, Bad Batch. There's just literally just so much to talk about. So I was thinking, guys, we just jump right in and let's give our takes on Kenobi, man. I mean, so much there with Kenobi. So I want to hear from Mr. Kenobi himself, Nate Johns.
I mean, I really enjoyed it. Seeing things, we've seen now right after episode 3 with Bad Batch, and 10 years later, seeing the clones sitting there, basically a homeless clone after the war, and seeing just all that stuff, the more world building of that to bridge the gap between 3 and 4. And little Leia just stole the show.
Yes, she did.
I mean, she was awesome. Not expecting. I don't know how we didn't think that was how they were going to get Kenobi off world. Like, of all the things that could get Kenobi off world, like thinking about it now, Leia being kidnapped or something with Leia is really that one big thing. And the comparisons with Padme that he made to her, and just, it was good. I'm excited to see where it's going. Hopefully they can wrap everything up in 4 more episodes. I don't know. Part of me actually wonders if Leia is going to get back to Alderaan in 3 and we'll go somewhere completely different. But
yeah.
Well, yeah, because we don't.
Smith's back.
Because we don't know exactly where they're going in that ship, right? Like, it's not Kamal Nanjiani's character. Like, I forget what his name is. The fake Jedi.
He was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, he was. But like, he mentions going to certain places, but it was very quick and cryptic, and Obi-Wan doesn't really want to believe him on anything. Like, but he's like, "What choice do you have?" And so they're kind of at the mercy of wherever the ship is going. But it seems like he's orchestrated getting people off planet as well before. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, it makes me feel like we're also going to definitely see his character again. And
he's a big enough actor that I think we'll see him throughout this series.
Yep. Yeah.
Kind of like Carl Weathers and Mando.
Yep.
I could see him just being like this, common thread. But I kind of do hope they get Leia back to Alderaan, so it's not just another basically father-child type thing, because that's, every series nowadays.
Yeah. Dude, I was just thinking, like, watching, which I felt like I kind of called a little bit that's going to be mostly drama at the start of this. But dang, did they do such a freaking good job in the first episode of showing just like the PTSD that Kenobi had went through, like,
Mhm.
and the fact that he feels like he lost everything and everybody and the Jedi Order and everything that he was about, and his best friend was killed by him. And he was like, I have nothing. I have Luke, and then
And Owen doesn't want him to have anything to do with him.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's like, you're just worried if he's showing. You just want to know if he's showing,
Well, and I saw an interesting take. I was probably on TikTok or something like that. I saw an interesting take that both Owen and Obi-Wan think that Anakin is dead. So they think that
Mhm.
Obi-Wan's training and all that kind of stuff led to Anakin's death. And the fact that he now knows that he's alive could maybe change that whole dynamic with Owen a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Because they assume that he's dead, so he doesn't want him to lead to his death, as opposed to just being trained to have this just to be trained because
Yeah.
he's showing.
But will Obi-Wan even tell Owen that?
See, I don't even know. I don't even think he will. I think
I don't
it'll
think
be
so
too
either.
much of a shock, for Owen and Brew and
Well, I also saw an interesting take that, like, Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok, like, he's usually pretty spot on some of his kind of assessments of stuff, but I disagreed with him hard on this one. He thinks that Reva, what's her name?
Reva.
Reva, she's going to be turned back, and I don't see that happening. I think I don't see that as an arc that I want to see. Like, she's
I
an
don't see her
inquisitor that
surviving.
she's an inquisitor that I've already kind of written off as being like she's cannon fodder. I mean, she's gonna make for an interesting character. I think that she is one of the younglings that we see in that opening
Oh,
sequence.
definitely.
I also saw a good breakdown of the bridge that Obi-Wan and Yoda are standing on at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and it's a bunch of younglings slayed on that bridge, that same bridge with the same sculpture and stuff in the background. So it could have been that group of younglings, and she got out. I mean, she could have been the one that was.
Oh, dude, I rewatched it a couple of times with my wife, and she's definitely one of the younglings. Like, you can tell, even like with the hairstyle and things like that. It's definitely like she is definitely one of the younglings, and I think that's why, like, because there was this big beef, right? Like, how the heck does she know that Darth Vader is Anakin? When she revealed that to Kenobi.
And is that supposed to be? Is that a problem? Is anyone supposed to know that Anakin is?
Technically, no. I mean, Anakin has been basically told that he's dead. The only person that knew that it was Anakin was Jocasta Nu, who in the 2017 comics, it's because there was a protocol droid there and it recognized him by a scan, like a DNA scan, basically. It was like, oh, Anakin Skywalker, And so she heard that and she's like, what? And so that's why Vader wanted to kill her. And then anybody else that found out, Vader would basically kill, because he was like, no one needs to know this, So the only theory that I have is that Reva was a youngling, and basically Anakin didn't kill her but captured her,
or she somehow escaped and he didn't realize.
Yeah, or she hid out.
One of the younglings with one of those other. Yeah.
Yeah, well, or she hid out in the temple, and because of Obi-Wan's message, she was never rescued. So now she.
I mean, I think the Obi-Wan message is definitely the reason why she's got a grudge against Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But I'm curious as to how. I'm curious as to a little bit of her backstory, because this is 10 years after the Inquisitor hideout on the moon of Mustafar. I forget what the name of the planet the moon is, but that's already been destroyed by Cal Kestis and then rebuilt, because it's 5 years after. She's also seems like she's late to the Inquisitor party because of how the Grand Inquisitor is talking to her. That her ambition is misplaced, and she's seeking. She's kind of overreaching.
Yeah.
And what are the words he uses? He says something to her that's like, where you come from is, there was something cryptic in there that I've watched the first episode 2 or 3 times now, and I'd have to go back and look at it again, what he said to her. But it's
gutter
something,
trash or something.
Yeah. And then Fifth Brother talks to her as well, and they all, there's a pecking order there, and she's definitely low on that totem pole.
Yeah.
Now, what if she's a youngling who got captured by Vader and he kept her secret? Oh, no, that wouldn't work timeline wise.
I think she just has probably an incredible gifting of like mind control or something like that, or where she can read people's minds.
Because she exhibits that skill. I mean,
yeah. And that's one of the things that is mentioned, is that the only reason why you're around is because of your abilities. And so it makes me think that Vader saw something in her that he was like, that can be useful for me, so I'm going to keep you around and won't kill you.
But I don't think it was at the temple. Just thinking of the timeline.
Yeah.
Because he was still Anakin then. And then he has to go to Mustafar to fight Obi-Wan.
Well, he's Darth Vader. He's Darth Vader as soon as he takes the 501st into. I mean, he's dubbed Darth Vader at that point.
True.
But he's still kind of conflicted.
He is.
Like,
and
what would he have, like, kept her away somewhere, like hidden her like a Star Killer?
See, the only thing I can think of is like,
or did she escape or hide in the temple and then escape later, and maybe he found her 5 years later or something and turned her, and that's why she's post Cal blowing up the Inquisitor base.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is she had to have been captured and has some type of special ability or something, and that's why they keep her around. Because, I mean, to me, she was probably the most gifted at hunting the Jedi in the first 2 episodes, and the way that she played Kenobi. Like, there's not a lot of people that can outplay Kenobi. And he kind of realized that. He was kind of like, oh, crap. Like, yep, this was smart, you know. But, like, kind of going back to episode 1 too, the thing that I liked a lot about how they portrayed Kenobi is like seeing how he responded to that other Jedi. And usually he would be like, yeah, let me help you, you know. Instead, he's just like, bury it the time the Jedi is gone, kind of almost what Luke says, right? And
I saw parallels. I saw people assessing parallels between Last Jedi and this.
Is Kenobi getting a pass where Luke isn't for this type of change of heart?
I mean, I think yes and no, because Kenobi isn't. Luke shuts himself off from the Force. Obi-Wan is just passively not engaging, because he's probably more in tune with the Force than anyone at any time, short of Yoda, because he's learned to commute, obviously not super well, because Qui-Gon didn't come talk to him right then and there, but that has me confident that we are going to see Qui-Gon at some point. But like, I feel like he's in tune with the Force because he's learning, but he's just choosing. He's adapting to the current situation and not showing him.
Very similar. Luke just dealt with it a little differently.
Yeah, I think the big payoff, though, the difference in it and why we're more open to kind of be forgiving of Kenobi is because he almost immediately sees the repercussions of that, and that, oh, there's the Jedi and he's dead, and he's hanging up for the rest of the town to see. So like, you can see the remorse in his face. Like, that's one of the things that,
I mean, Luke has it at the end of Last Jedi.
He does, but I think the payoff is quicker in a TV show than a movie for us. And so it's like, it's easier for us to move along because we know there's more story coming. And so I think that might be the difference. And I think too, I think more people register with Kenobi's struggle because of how much you kind of see that he's gone through, while we didn't get to really see too much of Luke's struggle, right?
I wish we had, and maybe we will.
Maybe we will. Yeah, I mean, we might. But for me,
I mean,
it was
he did
like,
almost kill his nephew.
yeah, exactly. But like Kenobi
Pretty
is
traumatic right there.
right. But like Kenobi is like, you can just see he is like hurt and broken. And this is 10 years later and he's still having PTSD nightmares, right? And it's like,
I mean, he sliced off 3 limbs in one slice. So I mean, that's pretty horrific.
yeah. Yeah. But I think the one thing that I will say that, I mean, I loved everything about Kenobi. I loved young Leia. Like, she had some sick burns that I was just like, this is the perfect portrayal of Leia ever. Like, I could see a young, snarky Leia like this,
Yeah, there were elements of Padme and Carrie Fisher and Carrie
Leia.
Fisher's Leia in there as
100%.
well.
But I do have to poke a little fun at the show as well, right? Not everything is going to be perfect. But I felt like, I don't know if you guys saw the video. I think I posted it in the Bendu Podcast Discord. But I had that whole Office skit of parkour in my head when Reva was jumping over the buildings.
Yeah, so I mean, with that kind of stuff and how she like jumped down, like I'm all right with the rooftop stuff, like that was all right.
Yeah.
But when she jumped down and was jumping like you're in Assassin's Creed or something like that, it's like Jedi and Sith have fallen from great heights and just landed on their feet like cats. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of funny. It was just like especially when she did the back flip forward and kind of lost momentum. I was kind of like, that was a little weird. And I felt like I like her portrayal as a Inquisitor because she is just like crazy. She's super aggressive. She's out there. She's just single-minded, right? But I do feel like at times in the acting, she was a little stiff.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like some of it felt a little stiff, but it may also just be like first few episodes of filling out the character.
Getting used to her. Or just getting used to her style.
Or the character, yeah.
I mean, Inquisitors in general have just had bad luck on TV shows capturing Jedi.
Yeah.
They tend to let them get away a lot of times. I mean, we haven't talked about the elephant in the room. Is Grand Inquisitor, he's not dead, right? They're not changing canon of Rebels.
No, they wouldn't mess with her. I don't think Filoni would let him mess with Rebels.
Dude, there's no way he's dead. Like, okay, so one thing that I didn't know is that particular species does have 2 stomachs. So he could just be really pissed off and in a lot of pain.
Probably.
And they're probably going to do the whole Maul type thing.
Or it's a way to sideline him to let Reva take center stage or bring Vader in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they do it. I honestly think it's because, like you said, Nate, they can sideline him. He can come back super pissed because I don't even know if Reva is going to survive this series, honestly.
I don't think she will.
Like, I think she knows too much, and either Vader or the Grand Inquisitor is going to end up like.
Well, Grand Inquisitor is definitely going to come after her now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other Inquisitors might if they find out. I forget, were they there? Did they see her do that?
No.
So fifth brother, and what's the number of the other Inquisitor? Do you know?
They haven't given us a number, so I don't know on that one. Like the one with the tentacles coming out, his hair. Yeah, they haven't given us a number for her. I could probably Google it and find it, but
it's probably on IMDb.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she's being set up as the main baddie for at least a little bit until the Grand Inquisitor comes back. Because let's remember, the Grand Inquisitor, he's not as good as Vader at sword fighting, but he's pretty dang good.
Yeah, like he's a temple guard.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work. And we get a new episode
Friday
in a few hours.
Yeah.
Oh, is it come out? Is it Wednesdays now?
It's Wednesdays. Yep.
Okay.
What they did is they pushed the first one.
Oh, that's right. They pushed it to do 2 and
and pulled up the second one.
Yeah,
that's right. So yeah, we are going to get an episode here. It was nice. It was nice that because I was able to watch them both on Thursday night and not have to kill myself staying up ready to be ready for work. They came out at what, 9 o'clock
right, they came out
Pacific
early.
time.
Yeah.
So I think the same time that they released them at Celebration, they put out on Disney Plus, which was nice because it was 2 episodes, and it ended up being an hour and 40 minutes of Star Wars to watch.
Yeah,
and they're longer episodes, which is nice.
Yeah, first one was just under an hour, and the second one was like just over 40 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have links for the rest of them.
And the recap, I know, Nate, I want to hear your take on the recap, because I know that was like the first thing you posted in our Discord was how perfect the recap was.
That
and
was
I always love recaps because it gives you a good idea of where we're going. And there might be some Natalie Portman's on contract with Disney for Love and Thunder. Like, who knows if she's maybe
cameo.
able to pop into the soundstage there with the volume and maybe do a flashback or something, because I think she was showcased quite a bit in that preview or in the recap.
And Qui-Gon. And he was referenced a lot too.
I think Liam Neeson will make an appearance,
even if it's just his voice, just because with how much Obi-Wan tried to reach out to him. But that recap was just awesome.
That was phenomenal. I mean, they set you up emotionally for that, man. Just like relive all of this, and now here you go. 10 years later.
That's something. If you want someone to skip the original like the prequel trilogy, just show them that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty good like synopsis of all of it. So what did you guys think about that one moment with the 501st Trooper? Because
he definitely has to know who he is, right? Like, is that
like a 501st has to?
Could that be him? Could he go back and go try to recruit him? I mean, his wiring obviously isn't. He has to know who Kenobi is. Right. He's been discharged from the Imperial Navy. It's
been 10 years though since he's probably seen Kenobi. So, and if you're not expecting somebody, and it's been 10 years, you might not recognize them as they pass by like that, and don't do too much interaction. And I mean, we don't know what clone deterioration's like later in life. I mean, look at what Gregor in Rebels, and I mean, 501st was more Anakin than
it was
Obi-Wan.
But the whole like I made a whole YouTube short and TikTok on this saying like, dude, he's got to know who that clone trooper was, right? Like he's got to know. And I was like, okay, I made it. And a lot of people were like, dude, he was probably high on spice. Like he was like, basically drunk or whatever. And so I decided to like go ahead and go back and just watch that spot again. And I definitely noticed that there is a look that he gives Obi-Wan of like,
it's like almost a little nod, right?
Like I know who you are, right?
Or it's
like
do I know who you are? It's been 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to actually find the clip real quick and pull it up for you guys because it was there was just a little nod there that I was like, dude, that's a little too obvious that is like a little nod that I know you.
And now that we have Tamora Morrison back, Cody.
I was to say, dude, Cody's not confirmed dead, right? So
he is in the Bad Batch trailer. We'll go over that.
That was Cody.
Bit.
I wasn't sure if that was Cody or not.
Yeah, that was Cody. So he was in the Bad Batch trailer. So there's that.
But I mean, that's immediately following episode 3, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if he survives Bad Batch, he can still be in Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just play this for you guys real quick, and hopefully I won't get into trouble with YouTube because it's a super short clip. But just watch this interaction right here. Did you see that look right there? And they both kind of look at each other. Like there was a moment there of him recognizing him. Let me play it back one more time. See right there.
Right, the eyes up.
Yes.
Yep.
Like there is a moment there that I'm like, okay, he is. So something registered with him where he's keeping his eyes on him, because we do see in a trailer someone in blue armor like with a hammer.
True.
And so I'm like, I really, really, really hope they give him some kind of redemptive arc of like feeling horrible that he couldn't control himself and killed Jedi. Maybe he was with Anakin, because there's no way that serving in all those wars, your two generals are Anakin and Obi-Wan, and not seeing them for years, you will still recognize them. Like, it's like seeing an uncle you haven't seen in 10 years. He'll look a little different, but you'll still recognize him, you know? It's like, oh, I don't know. I just hope they do something. Yeah. And this is interesting by Wolf here in the comments. He says, what I don't get is that the clone should have attacked him due to the chip in his brain unless he had it removed, right? Or it could have just
Order 66 was turned off. I mean,
yeah. Because it is a biodegradable chip. So it may have, because you see some,
which is why it went haywire. Was that in Fives?
Fives, yeah. Fives is the one that originally found all of it out, and basically the Emperor told him, "Here's my plan," and so he tried to kill him.
Yeah, it was haywire in somebody else, but Fives was investigating it and had his actually removed.
A trooper had a malfunction, killed a Jedi, and then Fives started to figure it out and found the inhibitor chip in his head and had it removed, and then that's when Palpatine was like, "Oh, let me talk with him. We'll just talk in this closed room. I got my guard. We're fine." And then tells him the whole thing to make him look crazy, you know. So, which is brilliant by Palpatine, but you know, it ends up getting Fives killed by Fox, and then we know what Vader does to Fox. So, in the comics, the little force choke there, but yeah. Also, I want to mention as well, because this is huge news, is that Star Wars tweeted, "Thanks to the best fans in the galaxy for making Obi-Wan the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere globally to date." That's pretty crazy.
I mean, probably surpassing,
doesn't surprise me,
episode or season 2 of Mando. I mean, right?
Probably.
Yeah. So I mean,
it really doesn't surprise me that much. Obi-Wan's been one of the most looked forward shows, I feel like, in Disney Plus. Ahsoka may come close.
Yeah. So I thought that was awesome. I mean, I like I said, other than a little bit of the stiff acting with Reva and the weird parkour, everything I loved about it. Like even the point where they did such a good job of Obi-Wan, just the way he looked at Luke after seeing him like trying to fly like Anakin, and just recognizing that, and just the hurt in his eyes he saw in that, and like, oh my gosh, this kid is so much like Anakin, you know. And it's just, man. So we got a couple of trailers to move through. So, and we've spent quite a bit of time in Kenobi. So now we're going to jump over to a little bit of the video game world, which is Jedi Survivor. Holy crap. I'm excited. Nate, I know you didn't finish the first one. So
I've tried a couple times.
Yeah. We'll have the trailer playing here, but what did you guys think? I mean, first of all, when I saw it, I freaked out because I love Jedi Fallen Order, and I thought it's probably one of the best Star Wars games since KOTOR. And there's a lot of really cool stuff that they show here, and kind of some of the things that they say in the clips. Here, I'm just gonna pause it because we want to talk about this. Crawler, you thought what were you saying? You thought this was?
I mean, initially I thought it was the Grand Inquisitor, but he doesn't have the markings on his head.
Yeah. And I did find out on the Star Wars website, if you look at it, it's actually says it's a senator on Coruscant. And this is really
or Upatau, or whatever the name of the planet is, right?
Yeah. This is really interesting too, because this is almost like a training facility. It looks like, with the turbo lasers, and then it looks like a Sith, like an actual Sith, or like a fallen Jedi.
Is it Mount Tardis?
It might be.
Almost looks like Vader, honestly.
I mean, that's what I mean, the internet's just full of reactions and people spitballing stuff, but like, there's a back to tank. Who's in the back to tank? Could it be a clone of somebody that either I'm not even sure who it could be, but like the question is it Mount Tardis because it's a little overgrown and it's 10 years after the fact of End of Bad Batch when we finally see Mount Tardis. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to confirm here, this guy is not from Episode 3 in Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. He is just a different senator. What is interesting, what I've seen kind of on the internet and kind of my thoughts on this is that they're saying, "Hey, Cal, what is your move going to be with this person in the Bacta tank?" And I saw a really interesting theory that this is maybe like an Inquisitor or a Jedi that fell to the dark side and is in this Bacta tank, and it's going to be part of it's going to be Cal trying to convince him to turn back to the light and help him fight off the Inquisitors and other people like that.
What was the name of the fallen Jedi that you fight on Dothamir?
Malicos.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like him, but
I don't think it's Malicos. He looks too young,
but if he's a clone,
true, that would be interesting.
But that'd be too much of a rehash of an old character. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just another either a fallen Jedi that's been in stasis for a while and he like stumbles upon him, maybe that barely survived Order 66, or maybe like a fallen Jedi that he has to really try to bring back to the light. And what's interesting is this timeline that this game happens is exactly 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
It's the same time as Kenobi.
Same time as Kenobi.
Does he have an arm, or is that arm cut off?
He has an arm. It's just like there's like some type of, I don't know if that's like injuries or like maybe his race.
Or his race, yeah.
Yeah.
But is that his full arm though? Because it looks like it could just be, I guess, the render.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
just
a
weird.
See it before BD jumps in there. But a lot of people are saying that this shot right here is giving a lot of credence to him coming into the Kenobi series, and that maybe he's someone that's going to help Kenobi a little bit fighting against some of the Inquisitors, because we've already seen him take on Inquisitors and Jedi Fallen Order.
He killed the Ninth Sister. He killed.
Well, at least we think he killed her.
Well, she fell from the top of a tree on Kashyyyk, right?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, Maul survived.
Maul fell down
in half.
a reactor shaft.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people are saying this is very similar to the actor's
it's exactly how he looks. Yeah,
exactly how he looks. So he could be making an appearance in Kenobi. So,
I think he did a lot of. I think they did a full face scan for him back in the first game, and I think he did some of the mocap as well.
Yeah.
So, and he's an actor that I think that's been in some other stuff. So he's. Is he been in Shameless? Is that what he's been? I forget what he's done. But
I'm not sure. He's been in quite a few things, I think, both in movies and TV. But yeah, and here's another shot right here of just the Bacta tank and the overgrown area. So, who knows where this is at? Yeah, that's right. Gotham. He was also in Gotham.
He was.
Yeah. He was a Joker. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or whoever the Joker character was. But yeah, this shot right here really gets me interested because it looks like is that a I can't tell on this hip if that's like a pistol or blaster. And then his lightsaber
could be, but his lightsaber was in that case with the senator. So
yeah,
he might have a new lightsaber.
Or maybe he made some kind of deal with the senator to give him the lightsaber. I don't know.
From a video game perspective, it would make sense for him to have a new lightsaber. Because let's be honest, we're going to be all powerful. Then he's going to have a fall, and you're going to have to rebuild his power again.
Probably. Honestly, at least he'll have his connection with the Force still, so he won't have to rebuild all of the Force and Force push and double jump.
It's a video game. Let's be honest, he's going to have to do it.
No, please don't.
They find a way to
That's
take
all I have to
away.
say.
They find a way to take away Samus's suit every Metroid game. So
Yeah.
And I mean, Shepard.
Yeah, that's true. And the big reveal is it's coming in 2023. So, you know, we got some stuff to look forward to, guys. So, but yeah, I mean, this trailer again looks amazing. Yeah. And this is an interesting.
Well, and the Mantis looks pretty beat up there. So
yeah,
maybe a new ship, possibly new crew. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. Like, I almost feel like he kind of has to kind of go out on his own because he's probably putting all of them in so much danger, you know? I do like that at least he's not wearing a poncho. So, yeah. And that render right there of that is just, it looks amazing of that.
You know what? Seeing this all could be like very early game.
I'm wondering if it is.
He gets defeated by some kind of Inquisitor or Sith and brought in. The stormtroopers were carrying that case that they gave to the senator. The senator's probably sending him out to find out something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The people of Upatau were kind of held hostage by the Confederate planets, and then like I think they had to repent against like the new, like they had to beg for forgiveness to the new empire for what they had done or what involvement they had with the Confederacy, and then so maybe he's got some kind of political play in going here.
I'm seeing if I can try to stop this. Look at that guy's suit right there. I mean, it looks very SOTOR Sith.
As I say, it looks like Revan a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Revan a little bit. So it's, I mean, I don't think there's a way they could bring any kind of Revan lore into this, though. Now that I think about it, but
just do whatever they can do, whatever they want.
Yeah, but it'd still be amazing if they could, or something. They did something with that, but yeah, I can't wait. Any other thoughts, guys, before we move on to Bad Batch? Because I know we're running a little long in the tooth here, but
no, I'm excited. I almost want to sit down and play. I have a new game plus of this game that I need to go finish.
Yes, you do.
I know you've beaten it like what 9 times or something like that.
It's pretty close. Pretty close. I'm almost finished with a more recent playthrough because it's just so good. Yeah. Yeah, and this is a good point with Wolf bringing up that maybe he fights a Sith and then puts the fallen Jedi in the back of the tank. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, because that his arm definitely looked like it had injuries or something on it. So I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So this trailer, guys, the Bad Batch, I am so freaking stoked, man. Just like I am pumped for this because 1, I love the Bad Batch, but 2, this just looks like look at the new armor that they have, like the repainted armor, even the Echoes look and Omega. Yeah, they look rebelish, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have that rebel flair, that little bit of orange that you see in a lot of the rebels. And so like when I was watching this trailer, I think the biggest thing that I noticed was, let me see if I can try to stop it when we saw Cody. It's pretty close in here somewhere. You kind of get to see that this is going to be awesome.
Yes. On Coruscant.
Yeah. And then boom, that shot, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. And this comment by Hodges, isn't it true? It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. Like, dang. It is. I can't wait. And it's coming this fall. And this is cool.
Yes.
So we're gonna go from Kenobi. We're gonna have like what, a month off, maybe. There's probably gonna be some kind of filler with gallery and some other stuff that comes out probably to fill the time in between. We're going to land right on Andor at the end of August.
August.
Andor is going to take us Andor and
Andor's
Bad
long,
Batch.
too.
Andor and Bad Batch are gonna run on top of
They
each
have
other.
to, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Now that I'm
Yes!
now that I'm playing it out, because Andor is gonna run at least 3 months because it's 12
Yeah.
episodes.
Bring
unless
it,
they
bro.
unless they drop a few at the same time. But we're gonna have.
They'll run right into Bad Batch.
I mean,
Yeah.
Bad Batch technically, I guess it says this fall. They can run. They can actually drop it right at before Christmas, and it's still in fall. So
And then we go right into Mando.
and then that can take us right to Mando. We can have straight Star
Star
Wars
Wars.
all the way through Ahsoka. I mean, at this point,
May have to turn this into a weekly instead of bi-weekly podcast soon.
And do we know when the Acolyte's coming, or is that much later?
I think it's
Acolyte's like
2023.
2024. Is it?
Okay.
Maybe end of. Is it 23? I don't know. They didn't really show anything on. We got a new show with the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah,
but I don't
and
know if
Jedi
they didn't really.
Tales.
Yeah, Jedi Tales is going to be kind of their kind of what if answer for Star
I'm
Wars.
not even sure if it's what if, because I think it's
well, no, it's not
more-
what if, but it's like their answer to like an animated thing that's going to take characters that you know and do like prequel type before you knew
I
them.
would say
Kind of
Visions is more like what if.
Yeah. This is cool though. You do get to see some clone era ships here. Like
Makes sense.
yeah.
Got to be most of their infrastructure at that point.
So there's still clones that are here that are being, and this is great. I love this. Wrecker carrying that like basically as a shield. Dude, I love Wrecker. He's like my spirit animal. So here let me back this up real quick. Clone Commandos.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting to see some more Clone Commandos. And then we get to see Cody right there. Cody and Crosshairs working together.
And we're sure that's Cody.
That is definitely Cody. The whole everything on the armor is exactly like Cody from the Clone Wars and anything in animation with Cody, even with episode 3.
I mean, and this plays as well because there's a new Lego ATTE coming out with Cody included in it, so that could be something playing in there as well.
Yeah,
we still need a Lego Rex. I don't know why they haven't done that.
Yes, we do. We need it.
Anyway.
We need it. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. So, are we going to get a chance to maybe like try to save Cody? You think they're going to try to save him, or is he too far gone? You think? Because he didn't even hesitate to fire at Kenobi.
I hope he's too far gone so we can see him in Kenobi.
Yeah.
Even though Kenobi comes first, but
it would still be cool to see it. And then you see them, they're definitely going to have a confrontation with Omega. Because you see them turn right there to look at Omega. So it's
well, who was that with Omega?
Probably a new character.
Yeah. So I'm not sure who that is. It's got to be someone new, or maybe an episode of just some random character they're helping.
Probably.
So I need to rewatch because it was 16 episodes, right? I need to rewatch. But how did we leave it? They got in touch with Crosshair, but he still wanted to be on his own, right? And
yeah,
so
they left
Camino.
The destruction of Camino. They worked together like in that finale just to get out of there, but Crosshair left.
And what's interesting is I don't know if he's lying or not, but Crosshair did say he had his ship disabled a long time ago. So, yeah. And this is interesting because this looks like some type of droid left over from the Clone Wars era. So that's a really bad fuzzy picture, but you can kind of see it a little bit better there.
I mean, it still really is the Clone Wars era.
Yeah, it really is.
Barely after. So
yeah.
I mean, with the introduction of Dark Troopers that we had in Mando, do we see some Gen 1 Dark Troopers start to be created where they just dismantled clones pretty much and made them cybernetic?
I mean, maybe. And this was a huge reveal right here. Because this is one of the younglings that we see in Clone Wars that goes to Ilum to find their Kyber crystal. And
I forget his name.
I
mean, he's a Wookiee, so it's a hard name to pronounce anyway.
Yeah, it's but this is huge because now we see like a Padawan basically, and still alive, right? Like this is going to be interesting.
This has me excited. Like that screams video game to me right there. That race or whatever that tech is in.
Yeah. There's definitely some moments in this that just look so stinking good, man. That I'm really excited. Anytime Filoni does any of that, anytime he does like animation, I get excited because I feel like that's his bread and butter, you know. Like it's just what he's really good at. So, this is a good question here as we kind of wrap up Bad Batch.
Is that a video? Hold on, was that a video of the destruction of Kamino?
Hold on, let me pull it back.
Yeah, it was. That's the orbital bombardment of Kamino.
Yeah, it is, and it's being played at the Senate. Dude, good catch.
I hadn't seen that until just now.
For
and Omega
real,
being in the Senate is interesting.
Dude, he's going to work that to his advantage to basically say the clones turned against them, and just basically say, all right, all of them need to be disbanded or whatever, you know. So
I will say with the Cody thing, the Bad Batch colors are closer to Cody's.
Yes, well, because they have more of that
what
yellow.
If it's like Hunter or something, and they're working with Crosshair?
I mean, the suit looks exactly like Cody's. I don't think that would be too much of a coincidence, you know.
Or intentional.
Because how many other of I forget what Legion Kenobi
212.
How many of the other ones had did they all have the visor?
They have a similar color, but not like that. Cody was definitely different than the rest of them. No. Let me see if I can find a picture I can pull up for you guys.
And did Cody have some kind of waist garment on as well?
No, he basically had the antenna off his back and then the visors. I love that. Let me just.
There we go. Here's Cody.
There he is, right there. But I got a picture right here I can share with you guys. This is what the 212th looked like. That was with Kenobi.
Okay, yeah. So they didn't have visors. They just had the.
Yeah. So Cody definitely looks different. And let me pull that back up so you guys can see it. Cody has the visor and he has the antenna, but he has the same unit colors, and he also has his little jetpack. So, which is kind of what we see in episode 3. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Crosshairs and Cody and
it's just going to be interesting with Bad Batch and how they end it, because it can't be a good ending.
It's got to be something sad.
Yeah,
something's got to happen. They can't all survive, right? Like, it's got to be like Omega.
Speaking of clones, I did see an interesting tidbit. The veteran 501st soldier in Kenobi was the first non-CG clone trooper on screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Tim was playing him, so that was. I love it. I love bringing him in everything like that. It's just awesome.
Yep.
So this is a good comment. We'll talk on it real quick before we go into the Ahsoka trailer and Mando season 3 trailer. But this is the question: is how would you guys feel about a Yoda series based on his younger days?
How far back does that mean? Because we're kind of,
900 years you reach.
Because he's not a super focus in the High Republic, right? I mean, he's
kind
present,
of a backdrop character. Yeah.
So Yoda's actually getting a comic this fall.
Okay.
That is 200 years during the High Republic.
So 700-year-old
200
Yoda?
years. Yeah. So at least it's a younger Yoda.
Yeah. He's like a middle-aged Yoda right now.
Exactly.
In that one. Yeah.
I mean, that's technically his younger days.
Yeah. I mean, the dude, what was he, like 900 and something years old?
Yeah.
When he becomes one with the Force.
Yes. So I don't want to spend too much time on these next two things because it's basically like leaked trailers. And the only place you can really find these is on TikTok because they don't have DMCA's on TikTok. But this one's like super, super short. It's a Rebels trailer, and it's really blurry and not great focus, but you can basically see Hera and Ahsoka walking in on
well,
ship.
and they've also confirmed because they brought out Chopper,
Yeah.
a real life version of Chopper.
Yeah. So that's going to be exciting. And then the Mando trailer.
And was that Sabine in front of Ahsoka as well?
I think so.
I know you just closed it.
It looked like Sabine. Yeah.
And we knew that Sabine was going to be in live
Yeah.
action because they've cast her well before.
Yep.
This was upsetting, though. The fact that Mando comes out here in 8 months or something like that. And I mean, both of these are gate kept behind being in person at Celebration, which first off is expensive. We're going to see these trailers eventually when Disney or Disney Plus or whatever avenue they choose to release them, if they're on just YouTube or if they're whatever. But
yeah,
the fact that this stuff was gate kept behind Celebration is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Doesn't bug me as much.
And well, we have to rely on this, and then the one good trailer gets cut off halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, we can't see what we want to see and like hyper analyze everything, and like, but we definitely see Mandos, we see Grief, we see
Bo-Katan is going to be maybe the villain in this kind of.
Yeah,
it's an interesting
villain might be a
take.
strong word.
Antagonist.
Maybe. Yeah, I think she just won't. I don't think she'll be a fan of Din because he has the Darksaber. I think she's still pretty petty about that. Like, I think that's going to be an issue. But I kind of honestly wish that we could see Din kind of step it up and be like, "Look, I have the Darksaber, so I'm the Mandalorian. I'm the man. I'm like the guy now, right? I'm the Mandalore. So what I say goes now. Like, I would rather him kind of step into that role maybe toward the end of the season and be like, I'm not listening to you, the armorer, and I'm not listening to you, Bo-Katan. I know the creed well enough, and we're going to do it like this.
Well, it's interesting that he's like embracing the radical side of Mandalorianism, if whatever you want to call it. Like the fact that he wants to go repent for his sins to go back to the way of the Mandalore and keep the mask on, even though he's met other Mandalorians that were born either on Mandalore or on Concord Dawn.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to understand that he's part of a radical like group.
Yeah. It's
even though he's moved away from that a little bit, he did, and now he wants, I don't know.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about this a little bit. How did you guys feel about like everything just being at Star Wars Celebration and us not seeing it?
I'm fine. They paid the tickets. They can see things early. It's not going to change when we see the final product. It just, when we get a trailer, it's like, we had someone in our Discord kept complaining we didn't get a Spider-Man trailer for months and months. It'll drop when it drops.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I wish that they would have done is maybe keep it exclusive for a few days, and then
at this point we should have the nice trailer released. Like,
yeah,
and maybe it'll drop tomorrow when the next episodes of Kenobi come.
Yeah. I definitely think that like we need to see it as Star Wars fans, but instead of seeing it on a crappy, crummy, half cut off TikTok from somebody that someone got it from somebody else and screen recorded it, and like, we want to see the goods, man. We want to see the goods. So, yeah. But I mean, and we didn't even get to talk. There's going to be a Visions season 2. What else? Jedi Tales, which is like a animated shorts.
So it looks like it's going to focus. Half is going to focus on baby Ahsoka, and half is going to focus on a younger Dooku training Qui-Gon.
Interesting.
And just kind of like two paths that these two are taking.
Yeah.
I think that could be good. More excited for that than for Vision season 2.
Yeah, I think Visions for me, like I know a lot of people loved it, but I thought there was maybe 2 or 3 episodes that I just really liked, and the rest were kind of okay, you know.
I
The
mean,
ninth,
the Ronin was like the shining star of that, which
The Ninth Jedi too.
the ninth Jedi was probably my favorite. Yeah, that was
Definitely
like
not the twins.
that was just a little too out there for me. I know people that like anime probably loved it, but for me, it's like I was kind of like, you know,
Having an X-wing and a TIE fighter on the same double weird Star Destroyer, that was just too much.
and then fighting in space and doing the Leia. They were like, hey, I'm just gonna hold my breath in space. We're good. And then use my lightsaber like a Death Star. It's like, yeah. But yeah, anything else, guys? I know we kind of
Andor.
Oh, yes. We didn't even get to talk about, dude. We have to show that trailer. I gotta
That
pull it
one
up.
is, yeah. Andor just looks so good.
Dude.
The only thing that I'm upset about is we will not get K2SO in this season, at least in the first
season. Yeah.
I hope we get him in the second season, but like
maybe at like the very end of the first season, they
I think they've said he's not in it. I mean,
they
lie,
they lie all the time.
Yeah.
But it just looks. Yeah, we're gonna get, I think, some flashbacks to Clone War era stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, because we see Camino.
We see clone. Yeah.
We see clone troopers. Like this definitely like just
probably
everything about it
here.
feels like Rogue One, New Hope, gritty, kind of dark.
Is that, hold on, go back a second. Is that the planet that Cal's on?
It looks like it, because it looks like it's a shipyard.
That looks like a old Star Destroyer.
What if we get Cal in some of this as well?
That would be cool.
Depending on the timing, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like a younger.
Yeah.
What is
and
this?
That's got to be Camino, right?
Not necessarily. That looks like a droid they're repairing in the background.
Yeah. Like maybe it's just some kind of facility or something like that they're doing repairs on and things like that.
I mean, are we going to see Saw Gerrera at all in this?
I would be shocked if we didn't.
Yeah.
Although, will they get Forrest Whitaker back, or will they have to go younger?
Yeah.
Like do the DH thing like they did with Luke. Yeah.
I mean,
they're getting so freaking good at it.
We get a variation on the clone dropship as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that much before Rogue One anyway. At least I know I think they said the second season, or whenever it ends, it'll end with bring it up to Rogue One.
So those whoever was knocking on the door didn't seem Imperial, but
yeah, they looked like some kind of like maybe ISB or something like that.
Yeah,
or maybe their security,
or maybe their local government. I mean,
yeah.
But at this point, local government kind of is being infiltrated by the Moffs and the.
Yep.
And we get a little bit more politics of Imperials.
Will we see Thrawn?
Dude. I mean,
the timing works.
The timing works, and that would be a good lead up into Ahsoka.
If we saw Thrawn, I would think I would flip, dude.
Oh, and those are Death Troopers.
Yeah.
Again, right era.
Yeah.
Do we see anything on Ball?
Krennic? Are we going to see a young Krennic?
Oh yeah, and not even that young. Again, it's not that.
That's Mon Mothma.
Yep, yeah. I know we're seeing a younger Mon Mothma.
And what planet? Yeah. What planet does she represent?
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you can definitely tell she's trying to play the political game in that one because she smiles and then like takes a breath. There she is. Like, oh man. Like I can't wait. This is gonna be awesome. You get to see just the massive, like, is this like a wanted puck?
Probably.
Yeah, that looks just like out of Mando.
So Thaddeus says, do you think we'll get Jude Law as Thrawn? And I don't think so, because I know he's slated for
Jude Law's he's in Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Which is post. That's post Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Look at this. This is the helmets we see similar to Han and Han Solo that Han uses, like the armor.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of throwback there.
There's a lot of planets that we're going to go to in Andor as well. Just that behind the back shot is showing like at least 2 or 3 different planets.
And then the clone troopers
and clones right there. Yep.
Yeah, and that's phase 2 armor, like just.
And that's probably the last. That's probably the last of whatever clones, because this is near the end of the time in between.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's dang, man, it just looks really, really good. Like I can't wait to see what they do with this. Oh, I can't wait, man.
Mm-hmm.
So much Star Wars, so much good stuff to look forward to. Like August 31st, like as we were saying earlier, it's basically going to just run right up Bad Batch and then Andor, and then we get Mando season 3 and
Andor and then Bad Batch probably.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, that looks so much to. I mean, there's just so much to talk about on this podcast. I don't think we could cover all of it, but we're hoping next week when we do a podcast. N64 Josh, who couldn't be with us tonight, has a friend that was at Star Wars Celebration. So we're going to invite him on, gonna get his take, talk about some of this stuff a little bit more in detail, kind of hang out and just geek out about Star Wars. But
we'll probably know what happened to the Grand Inquisitor by this time next. Well, definitely by this time next week. Hopefully,
yeah. So
here in a couple hours, hopefully.
Yes. So everyone get ready to watch another episode of Kenobi and hang out. But guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. And if you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch, wherever you're watching us, we appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you have Spotify, you can actually now watch the live stream that we do for the podcast if you're listening to us on Spotify. Don't forget, we have our Patreon as well. So if you want to help support the podcast and all the bros you see here, as we do more Star Wars stuff, you can go be a supporter over there. We got some fun stuff that we're going to be doing. But guys, thanks for watching, and we appreciate you guys. And remember,
the Force will be with you always.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, Master.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with us all.